Hello and welcome to our second edition of our featured member videos. Joining me today is the Group Pensions Manager for Wincanton. He's a TPAS advisor and a prolific blogger. Stephen, welcome. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Not a problem. So you have been blogging about pensions for a while now. What first got you into blogging?
Well, actually, one of your colleagues, Ralph Turner, has got a blog, and that inspired me somewhat. And I've looked at other blogs out there and thought I'd have a go. And of course, there are some sort of hard-hitting issues in pensions and personal finance, which I think some of those messages need to get out there. And my views, hopefully, just add to the debate.
Okay. So for our members who haven't seen your blog yet, what can they expect to see?
Well, some quite varied articles that I've written on things like investment issues, such as fiduciary management was one of my most popular blogs. I also have done a lot on personal finance issues, personal pensions, and also legacy high charges is one issue that's quite close to my heart. I've seen a lot of friends and relatives in the past had money basically skimmed off their personal pensions to quite a high degree, so I've been trying to campaign to have those legacy charges reduced.
Okay. So I know you have an interest in personal finance. What are you passionate about?
Well, it's transparency, really. I think, you know, consumers need to be able to make informed decisions, and they need to have the facts in a clear and concise way, similar to the small box on credit card statements, which gives you the key features. I think in the past things have been hidden in small print, charges have been excessive and mysterious, things like capital units, accumulation units, bid offer spreads, annual management charges, monthly charges indexed to national average earnings. All of this is Greek to the average person in the street, so I think it needs a lot more simplification, and with technology available today, you know, costs have come down quite dramatically, so I think consumers need to get a better deal, basically.
Yeah. So you've been at Wincanton for 7 years now, and you've had quite a varied career. Tell us a little more about that.
Okay, well, I started off as a salesman, door-to-door salesman, in fact, selling carpet cleaning, believe it or not, when I was a student.
Wow.
I had a market stall at Kingston upon Thames once when I was a student as well. I read economics at Kingston Poly. I got into pensions by mistake. It's actually the Occupational Pensions Board in Thamesden, where I lived. Okay. And I then moved over to the Inland Revenue, I'm afraid, and joined what was called then the Superannuation Funds Office, which became the Pension Schemes Office, and got moved to Nottingham. I then basically joined an occupational scheme at the Milk Marketing Board, and I've had various jobs culminating in my current role at Wincanton.
Okay. Wincanton has quite a sizable scheme. Tell us about that and the challenges that you face with auto-enrolment coming in.
Yes, well, like a lot of large employers, we have got quite a few people that aren't in the scheme at the moment. We have a lot of guest workers from Eastern Europe. We have people that are quite transient. So we've only got about 5,500, 6,000 members out of a workforce of about 16,000. So it's quite a challenge to engage with those non-members and educate them about pensions and educate them about the great deal that they can look forward to with extra contributions from the employer and help from the taxman. So, you know, it's a responsibility that we've all got to save. State pension's only going to give us a foundation level. So if we can build on that with at least some reasonable contributions for them, then that will be a start for them.
Stephen, you've been known to refer to yourself as a change management specialist. With all the change that's going on at the moment with regards to auto-enrolment, what can the company and the scheme, what traps can they fall into, do you think, with auto-enrolment coming in?
Well, the first thing to do is plan ahead, of course, and get a lot of people to help you. You need help from finance, from HR, from payroll, as well as pension specialists. And getting a good project manager is probably key as well. But sitting down, brainstorming and thinking about it. And if you just break it down into its component parts and make sure everybody knows what they have to do, then I think you can make real progress. And it's about confidence. I think too much of a project like this is about fear and worrying about it. Once you actually get into it, you sometimes surprise yourself that it wasn't as bad as you first thought.
Yeah. So it's been a pleasure to have you on Pension Web for a long time now, I believe since about 2003.
Man and boy, yes.
What first brought you onto Pension Web, and what is it that has kept you here for so long?
Well, I find it fascinating to read all the views of my colleagues in the industry. I also think we've got a really good bunch of people on there, and it's very well organised by yourselves, of course.
Thank you.
I think I got into it originally probably through maybe the pension show or something similar to that, probably at a conference certainly, and I joined originally. It was a free offer at the time, and I found it very useful, sharing resources and sharing ideas, and something that you've come across perhaps for the first time. There's almost certainly a chance that somebody else on the Pension Web community has dealt with it before or has got some useful insights for you. So I've found it very helpful.
That's great. So tell us a little bit more about you outside of the office. What happens when 5:30 comes, Stephen?
Well, 5:30 or earlier if I can. I sometimes nip off and play 9 holes of golf if I can.
Oh.
I'm a camera member, so I like real ale. Okay. I also like classic cars. I've got a Morris Minor and a Jaguar. Which is great, and it's a bit of an investment as well, of course. I just wish I could put them in my pension scheme.
That's great. Well, thank you for joining us today. It's been a pleasure to have you here.
It's a pleasure.
If you would like to read Stephen's blog, you can do so by logging on to www.pensionsmanager.blogspot.co.uk, or alternatively you can follow him on his Twitter account, which is @pensionsmanager. If you'd like to leave your comments, then you're more than welcome to do so below. And if you would like to appear in one of our featured member videos, then please do get in touch. Take care.